each other, find us another world to be. All the beauty we'll see. Won't you sing me a song and take me among the flowers we'll grow? We'll conquer the world. These feelings will remain with me.
Welcome to Every Story Matters. Here we believe that every life, every journey has unique power to inspire. I'm so glad that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here today with you.
Me too. So I've known Annie for over 30 years. We were in drama class together in high school.
Senior year.
And she would be in the plays, and I was always trying to blend into the background or working behind the curtains. But her boyfriend would show up to the plays, and he would bring this friend that was really cute. And every time we had a play, they would both show up. So after high school, my prom date ditched me, and I knew where Annie worked. She worked at Burger King. So I went to Burger King and just nonchalantly told her I was single, hoping she would set me up with her boyfriend's best friend, and she did. And yeah, that's where our friendship started. She ended up getting married, and then later on I got married to her husband's best friend, and we all lived across the street from each other and for years. And so we've been friends for a long time. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about Annie is a writer. She is an author, and she has a beautiful story. So I'd like to start off with asking you, when did you realize that you liked writing?
Well, thank you. Also, our friendship has been so special to me, and I'm so grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, when did I realize I wanted to write? Okay, as a child, I used to write stories, and so it was just a natural thing for me.
So you would just like take out a paper and pencil and just start?
Yes.
Just writing stories?
It was a way I entertained myself.
Awesome.
So I didn't think too much of it,
Uh-huh.
but as I got older in high school, my English teacher assigned us a project of writing short stories, and I really liked it, and I got an A, and he encouraged me to keep writing.
Amen for teachers.
So that was something. I didn't even think I had a talent for it,
Yeah.
but
It's amazing.
it was something that I liked to do.
All right, so you had that in high school, and it's really cool because you still remember that teacher telling you to pursue it, to keep going with it.
Yes.
It's like those little things that people don't even realize, that when they say something so positive to somebody else, they don't even realize the effect that it could have. If that teacher only knew that even now to this day.
Teachers make such a difference.
Yeah, big
They
time.
really do.
People in general can make such a difference just with their words, right?
That's true.
It's so true. All right, so then what happened after? So you leave high school, and then what happens?
Well, I got married, I had a daughter, and then later on after that, I somehow got into fan fiction. I was intrigued by fan fiction through the Twilight series by Stephenie Meyer.
Oh, yeah.
And so fan fiction is basically stories created by fans that are based on movies, TV, books, comic books, etc.
Okay.
And so anyone who has any desire to write any kinds of these fan fiction stories can share these with other people.
Nice.
And so, any skill level, beginner to ones that should have been publishing books themselves, and you just read their stories, and they're so well written, they're so good. And so it's really a good platform to learn, because people read your stories and they enjoy it, and they leave reviews. They give you good feedback.
Nice.
But they also give you constructive criticism
Right.
that
That's a good way of saying
sometimes
it.
is hard to hear, but you
Right.
learn from it. So that's kind of part of putting yourself out there.
Yeah, so because you have to be a little vulnerable, be willing to be vulnerable, right?
Yes, that's part of it.
Yeah. So it's really cool because you had this desire, and here you are married and you have your daughter, but you still have that inside you where you want to go
Yes.
and continue with writing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome. And that it was so accessible to you, right? It
yes.
didn't cost you anything.
That's
did
right.
It?
It was free.
It was free.
Anybody could read, anybody could write and share a story. It was all up to you.
Beautiful.
I love that too. It really opened something very big for me.
Nice. So after fan fiction, then what happened? How many stories did you write in fan fiction, by the way?
I probably wrote about 12 or 13, and I had finished one just recently. So I'm still sharing those stories.
Oh, beautiful. Awesome. And then, so after fan fiction, where did you go from there?
I started getting away from fan fiction and writing my original stories. I pursued a job as a ghostwriter during the pandemic. And
What is a ghostwriter?
So a ghostwriter is a person who writes a book or a story, but they don't use their name. So they basically write the story that they're assigned to write, and they're hired to tell a story. And so they tell the story, but they get paid to do the job, and they don't receive any credit for it.
So do a lot of writers start that way?
No, I don't think a lot of writers start that way.
Okay.
It's just it's an
Interesting.
option because
It's an option.
it's also a learning experience.
And you get paid to do it?
You get
They'll pay
paid to
you.
do it.
Okay, gotcha.
But what happened in my case is I had a contract to write a certain type of story, which I did. And it was during the pandemic, and the owner ended up getting sick, or something ended up happening with the
Okay.
business.
Gotcha.
So I got out of that contract, and
Yeah.
I retained the rights to that story.
Oh, great.
So
Good.
that's
You were able to
that's
keep
one
it.
that's one good thing that came out of it, because it was intended to be a trilogy, but I got as far as the second book, and I kind of put it on the shelf for now.
Gotcha. Okay. So then did you do anything with that story? Were you able to do anything with it?
Actually, there is a platform called Kindle Vella, which you can post your stories similarly to fan fiction, one
Okay.
chapter at a time, and people can pay to read one chapter at a time.
Did that happen?
Yes, yes, I did
That's
have some people
awesome.
reading that story. There was a bigger market for the romance stories, so I ended up coming up with another idea. So I went that way, and what I really wanted, though, was to put it into a book. So I got away from Kindle Vella, and they ended up shutting down anyway.
And Kindle Vella was through Amazon? Was
Yes.
it through a
Through
platform through
Amazon.
Amazon that you could, so anybody
That
could
you
go
could-
in there?
You could access it, and they would let you read at the time the first 3 chapters for free.
Oh.
And then you could buy tokens to unlock the episodes.
Oh, very cool. So after Kindle Vella, they closed down, what do you do next? What does Annie do next?
Okay, after that, I really wanted to put the contemporary romance story into a book, because that one I just loved. I loved the characters, I loved the story, I liked how it made me laugh. And so that's one of the things about writing stories, is to allow other people to have the same emotions. So that's one of the perks about reading. That's why people read, because they get to experience different worlds or different places, different experiences,
Yeah.
and they get to feel all the emotions. And there's magic in that.
Oh, there is magic in that. That's really beautiful. So is that the story that you are going to be publishing soon?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. And what's the name of that book that you're going to be publishing?
It's called Don't Tell My Brother. Yes.
Okay, so Don't Tell My Brother. Where did you get the inspiration for that?
Okay, I am from a large family, and I have 7 brothers. And so, inevitably, I had a crush or two on some of my brother's friends.
Yeah.
And nothing ever came of it. But I could really relate to the character in my story. So,
To self-publish.
okay. I belong to a writing group on Facebook called the Writing Gals. And this is a wonderful group of women who self-publish their novels, and they share all kinds of resources about how to go through the process, including editing, self-editing, hiring an editor, formatting, cover design.
Nice.
They will answer any kind of question, and so it's like women helping women.
Oh, it's
and
beautiful.
So it is a beautiful thing, and I just love them so much, and I'm so grateful to their resources.
So what are they called again?
The Writing Gals
They're Writing Gals, and are they on? How do you find them?
on Facebook.
On Facebook. Okay.
They
That's
also
so good to
they
know.
also put out videos on YouTube.
Okay, great. Okay, so
Right.
anybody can access this
Yes,
information.
anybody.
Oh, I love that.
Anybody.
That's
and
awesome.
so they really encourage you, and so many of them they call them indie authors, independent authors, and they are so successful.
Beautiful.
And they work really hard
Mm-hmm.
to put it all together and to put out a good quality product.
Mm-hmm.
They work really hard, and they put in as much work as they would for any full-time job with all the passion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really inspiring to hear their stories and how encouraging they just want everybody to be successful.
I love that so much.
And they don't ask you for any money at all. It's just all free
It's
advice.
free, just sharing what
Just
they've
sharing.
learned.
Just sharing.
Amen to that.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So, okay, the name of your book, let's go back to this. The name of your book is called, again,
Don't Tell My Brother.
Don't Tell. Okay, and so you grew up with, Annie has a large family. You grew up with how many brothers?
Okay, since I was the last of 9 children, I have
Yes.
7 brothers and 1 sister. So my oldest brother is 16 years older than me, and there was quite an age gap between myself and most of my brothers. But that was lots of fun. It was a learning experience. Most people are very surprised to hear that, for one thing, I come from such a large family, but also that, that I have so many brothers.
Yeah, you have a lot of cooking skills there.
I have a lot of cooking skills. Like from the age of 8, I learned how to make my brother coffee, take him coffee. I learned how to throw punches.
Yeah.
I learned how to tolerate really inappropriate jokes. So I have a pretty
Yeah.
healthy sense of humor.
Yeah.
I think I bring that to my stories.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I like to think so. So it's really a neat experience to grow up in a big family, even though our family was very large, and they struggled. My parents struggled a lot to make ends meet.
No, they were both born and raised in Mexico.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, and your parents, how old were they when they came here?
My parents were probably, I would guess, in their 40s at the time,
wow.
and they came with the five oldest, and then myself and 2 of my siblings were born here. But yes, they came here and they struggled a lot, and my dad found employment trying different things, and he ended up starting his own business in furniture and piano refinishing.
Wow.
So it wasn't easy, and he
Right.
struggled with learning English, but it was something that he just kept doing. And my dad was a master refinisher, and he gave that skill to my brothers, the oldest ones, I think. Yeah, had that.
Yeah. Because they do that now, right? Or they used to do it
Right.
before they retired.
A few
or-
of my brothers
Yeah.
did that. So
What a gift.
it was a talent and a skill that I know I wouldn't have been interested in doing it.
Yeah.
but-
No. No, but to think that he's coming from Mexico, he's older,
Yes.
and here he is with all these kids, 9 kids, and he takes a chance. He takes a big risk.
He dearly did.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's pretty neat that
It
he was
was.
able to do that.
It was really cool, and my parents were really good about keeping their home open. So during different times of the year, if we had family who wanted to visit, here we were with 3 sets of bunk beds in one room. And my cousins from Mexico would come and hang out with us for, sometimes a few weeks to a few months. So this already crowded house had even more people. So we made it work.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah.
It was very I don't want to say communal, but it was fun.
Yeah, it's really neat to hear, your story about, your parents and how they risk takers really like coming here. How was it going
Yes.
to be?
Right.
I struggle leaving the country at all, just on vacation. Like, I can't imagine that. It's
Right.
really beautiful, and there's so many people, that I've talked to in this country of ours that have that same type of story. So
Right.
it's really, really cool. Who inspires you as a writer? Like, who out there inspires you to do this sort of work?
Okay. Well, I'd have to say Stephanie Meyer's Twilight series definitely inspired me for fan fiction.
Yeah.
But I also enjoy Colleen Hoover's books. And oh my gosh, I think my favorite author is Leanne Moriarty because she writes women's fiction, and I generally love romance stories. And those are usually the ones I read and write. But Leanne Moriarty, with her women's fiction, she just cracks me up. She is so humorous. And when I read her stories, it just makes me want to write my own stories.
Oh.
Because I really just want to make people laugh or just feel something.
Oh, that's so beautiful. What would you say to a kid in high school that gravitates towards writing as well, like you did?
Okay.
What advice would you give them?
I would say if you know what it is that you like to do, to keep doing it, to keep practicing, and just be the best that you can at it, keep learning, and do what you love. That's a big thing. There's a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and it is all about nurturing the artist's spirit. So she gives you this assignment to write morning pages every morning. So you do 3 pages of longhand writing, just freehand, just dump everything out of your head in the morning.
Doesn't matter
So
what it
It doesn't
is,
matter
just
what
say
it
it.
is. Just
Yeah.
say it, get it out of your
Yeah.
head, and free up that space for your creativity. So you really want to embrace that creativity.
I never thought about it that way.
Right.
But it's true,
Just
though.
get it all out of your head.
Get all like the junk food out.
Get all the junk out and let the creativity flow. And also realize that when you have something that you love to do, when you have a gift like that it is your responsibility to share it. Because when you're given a gift, there's always someone to receive it.
Oh, gosh, that's the best way to say it, too. Yeah. And I mean, You worked a lot of different jobs. This isn't like the first, the only thing that you've been doing in your life. You've worked a lot of different jobs. What did you learn about yourself through your journey?
Well, like you mentioned, Burger King was my first job. But I think fast food taught me a lot. I did a lot of customer service type of jobs, and I worked in special ed with the preschool students.
Oh, yeah.
And there were aspects of all those jobs that I liked, that I enjoyed, that I was good at, but I didn't have a passion for it. So they didn't bring me joy. So
yeah.
I think that's what writing does for me.
Yeah. So like there's like different levels of happiness that you can have, but like the highest level is following your talent and following your passion, whatever that is.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Do what you love.
Do what you love. Yeah.
Do what you love,
absolutely.
and be willing to share it. Be willing to be vulnerable and put yourself out there, no matter what. Believe in yourself also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah. That's awesome, and it's so beautiful, and it's so
Thank you.
beautiful to sit here and be able to talk with you about this stuff, especially because you're, my dear friend, and I've known you for so long. But can you tell us a little bit about? So you have this book that you're about to publish,
Yes.
which is super exciting. Is it going to be something that you put on Amazon? How does that all work?
Yes, this book I am publishing on Amazon, and I'm also going to have it available so it can be read online, but also in paperback.
Oh, very nice.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, and you also have a website.
I also have a
That's up and running.
website. Yes, it's AnnieMarieWrites.com. And on my website, I have a teaser, the blurb about the book, and also it's going to have news about when it's coming out. I also have graphics that have scenes from the book. Then I have a blog, and then I also have another section that has affirmations, because I love affirmations because it reminds us how our self-talk is so important, it's important to see ourselves as unique and worthy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So cool.
And there's a link to my fan fiction stories on my website as
Oh,
well.
there it is.
If
Okay.
anyone is interested.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I've been on your website, and I love your website. I
Oh,
love all the
thank you.
affirmations, and I love the fact that you can get on there and it's linked to your fan fiction, so you can read all the stories, because it's really neat to see. You're a really good writer, and I enjoy.
thank you.
I really, and I'm not just saying that because you're my friend, but I do feel like your stories are very cool. They're very entertaining, and I love reading what you write.
Oh, thank you so
yeah.
much.
So I wish you luck with everything that you're doing, and
Thank
I can't
you.
wait to see what your future holds.
Oh, thank you
gonna be
so
great.
much.
All right, and so my last question is, if you had $1 million and you didn't have to work anymore, what would you do with it?
Okay, well, I would still write my stories, but I would pursue random acts of kindness. I think I already do that, like on a very small scale, but I have bigger ideas. I have bigger ideas in a sense that I think it would be fun to pay for people's orders in Starbucks, or give my server the biggest tip. I think that would be amazing. And you can relate to that as being a former waitress.
Yeah,
But
I would love you.
imagine getting a $100 tip,
Oh my gosh.
and just
that'd
being
be
able
beautiful.
to do that kind of stuff all the time. I think that would just bring me so much joy. And also putting like $100 bills inside of cards and putting them in people's mailboxes, and just imagining
that's
what that
beautiful.
would be like for them to open it, and it would be completely anonymous.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love that. That would be
I
amazing.
love how you think. Oh, that's beautiful, Annie. All right, and so we're gonna go ahead and close, and I just want to say thank you so much for being here and giving us your story, because it's a beautiful, inspiring story, and we all start somewhere, and it's not easy. There's always, a lot of adversity that we face when we're trying something, especially following your passion. But I think that is the biggest thing. What you said right now is when I asked you, if you had $1 million and you never had to work or worry about money again, what would you do? And you said, I would still continue writing because it's in you and that's what you love doing and
Right.
following your heart. I think paying attention to whatever it is that makes you smile and makes you giddy and excited.
Yes.
We talked about envy too. Like if there's somebody that is working a job and you envy them, pay attention to that because that is
attention to it.
telling you something. The universe is trying to give you a message there.
Right.
Like pay attention to those little signs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The universe is always talking to us.
That's true. Just have to sit still enough to listen to it,
sit
right?
still and listen.
All right, so this is Barbara McNellis, and I'm so glad that you were here and we're able to have Annie Anderson share her story with us. So until we see you again, have a great day.
Won't you be mine forever? Stay here together, we could nurture each other. Find a different world to be. Hope it's beauty we'll see.